Hello. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, testing. Let's see if everything is okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone who is watching us from Facebook, from Kardec page, Kardec Radio. Good evening. Hope you are well, you are healthy and fine. If there is any problem with the sound, please let me know. If you hear me good, just send me okay, and we can start. We are here streaming live straight from Dublin, Ireland. And we start our study today. I have a good news and a bad news. The bad news is Stevan won't be here tonight. Unfortunately, he's stuck in the traffic. I don't think that he will arrive on time to join us. If he's lucky enough, maybe he will be catch us at the end. But not sure. And the good news is you will start with me tonight. Hey! You like or not? Joking. All right. First thing first, let's do our initial prayer, as usually. And let's go. Let's elevate our thought to the Master Jesus, to the good spirits, ask them to enlighten us at this moment, that we can study the spirit teachings with an open heart and an open mind, and we can make this moment not just a moment of learn, but enjoy, because learn is good, but when we can enjoy is much even better. So let's travel this journey together to the teachings of Spiritism. God be with us. So be it. All right. Well, last week we started to talk about reincarnation, right? Let's do a quick recap about what we had seen so far from last week. We start the new chapter, the chapter of plurality of the existence. Forgive me because this word is quite hard for me. And we start to talk about reincarnation, right? We start to talk about reincarnation is not something new. It's something that exists for long, since the humankind exists, you know. That the plurality of that the reincarnation is for evolution. And then we did a few questions on the beginning of the chapter. And what else we said last week? Let me see. We talk about the importance to forget, to not remember the last incarnation. Why is important to not dig deep without really how can I say, a purpose. When we dig in something from the to the past, like to get to know the past through therapy of reincarnation, therapy of regression. Forgive me, the word is missing from my head today. Therapy of regressions, or this type of therapy, we have to be careful, because this can bring us more harm than goodness. So we have to be responsible with these things, and do with not good, but with a professional that really know what they are doing, and for a purpose. For example, for cure some disease or some traumas that is really deep, and we have to go through this to get better. Right. Good evening, Patrocinio. Good to have you here, my friend. I hope that you are good and well wherever you are. I'm not sure if you are in Europe, or if you are in America, or even in South American. Sometimes I lose track of the people. Yeah, so today we're going to start from the 167 question of the Spirit's book. that talk about the purpose of the incarnation. And I will bring some, I want to bring some questions as well related to the topic that is very common, you know. And I will start reading the question that we can start to talk about it. And the question 167 of the Spirits book, the Kardec asked to the spirits, what is the purpose of reincarnation? And then the answer is expiation in humankind's progressive improvement. Without reincarnation, how could there be the justice? And this is something that we started to talk last week about it, this part of the purpose of the reincarnation. Because as I said last week, it's very strange to think that we have just one life, and well, just one life can be enough to learn everything. Because if you imagine that we can live around 8 to 90 years, let's see, if you are very lucky and very healthy, you can arrive to 100. That's good. 100 of a year is look quite a lot. We can say, oh, I lived 100 of years, so I have a lot of knowledge. I saw a lot of things. I acquired a lot of knowledge during these years, right? But I'm quite sure if you ask for someone that have this age, or even more, if they have learned everything that they need, I think the answer will be no. They say that they still have a lot to learn, and 100 years is not enough. All right? So imagine if you think of the perspective of the eternal life, like ask now to one spirit, what is 100 years? Nothing. You know, if you compare with the whole eternity that we have. So it's very particular for the way that we look. For us, that we are incarnate, that we are here, 100 years can look very long. But if you look for the perspective of that the spirit is eternal, and we have many other lives to live and to grow, 100 years is nothing. So the reincarnation is exactly how can I say it? But a way to us, as the Spirit said, a way to us to evolve, going through the reincarnations, right? We born and keep learning and keep coming and keep back. And the good thing is we don't forget what we learn. We keep the knowledge about everything that we learn in our conscious. And more we learn, better it will be for our future lives, right? And imagine if we are in the stage that we are now, in this planet, living all these things that we think that is atrocities and other things. And if you look back, we see that we came for a long journey of many lives, and we are here. Imagine how much more we have to learn to evolve. Yeah. It's plenty of lives in front of us to do it, right? But the most important is that we have this conscience about the importance of reincarnation, and the purpose of the incarnation is to make us evolve, is for our evolution, to the spirit purified itself, as they say. Because if we create pure and ignorant, in a sense that no knowledge at all, and we came to the world and we start to learn things and living our experiences and growing, and we purified ourselves through this, and this is the beauty of reincarnation, I can say. Yeah. And is something that is very comfortable as well, because if you imagine that we have all this time to learn and continue learn, and this is, because for me it's very, very difficult to look and don't see the good of reincarnation, because if I have to live just this life and the end of my life, I'm sure that I won't have acquired even not 5% of what I have to do at all, even 1%. And the beauty is, like, I know that I came back, and I know that I can continue progressing. And there's the question that we saw last week as well, when they ask about if the spirits is still learning on the spiritual life, on the I forgot the word how they say, but basically it's if the spirits is still learning, continue learning in the spiritual world when we are not incarnate. And yes, they say that yes, and is when we are on the spiritual world, we can learn much more than that when we are incarnate, because when we are on the spiritual world, in the real world, we don't have this veil in front of our eyes. We have a completely view of the whole picture, the whole world. It's like you look to the place from above, when you can see the whole picture, just this part that we are seeing now, right? And this is beautiful. But we learn it there to apply here, because one thing is we acquire the knowledge there, and it's easy because in the spiritual world we have the support from the spirits, for the mentors. But when we come to the incarnate life, we have to apply this knowledge. We have to exercise this learning. Of course, we have the the support of the mentors, with the support of the good spirits, but the only thing is we don't see it. We don't see it. We can feel, we can have the feeling, we can percent, we have the other ways to sense them, but we don't see it with our eyes. So we think that we are alone. We think that we don't have the support, but we have the support from the spirits, for our mentors, to continue to progress. On the question 168, Kardec asked to the spirit, is the number of corporeal lives limited, or does a spirit go on reincarnation forever? Basically, he asked if we have a limit of reincarnation, or we continue just reincarnate forever, like no end. And the answer is, in each new life, a spirit takes another step on the path of progress. When it has stripped itself of all impurities, it has no further need to the trial of corporeal life. So, basically what they say to us is, we continue reincarnation, we continue to reincarnate till we had purified ourselves, because the purpose of the reincarnation is to purify our soul to get to the high worlds, right? So when they say, when we get to the stage, we purified, we progress enough, we don't have the necessity to come to the corporeal life. We will live in another way, right? And this is very good. It's something that I remember that last week I asked the question for Stevan about if you could know how many incarnation you have, or how many reincarnation you need to have to acquire, the top of the progression. I think we can know more or less, like very superfluous, how many we had. Let's say that I had 100 to 100 something of reincarnation, or I'm just say a number here because it's come to my mind. But how many more I need to get to the top, to get to the full progress, to learn everything that I need? No, they don't say, they don't give to us. It's impossible to know exactly the number. It's impossible today to say to us that, okay, you need more 10 reincarnation to acquire all the knowledge that you need to finish your progress path, let's say. I don't think that they will do that, because it's depends of many things. Depends of ours affords, depends ours decisions that we do when we are incarnate, and how we end. It's quite difficult to know. This will be a mystery. Yeah. And the question 169, he asked Jordan, is the number of incarnation generally the same, or the same for our spirits? Like, we all have the same numbers? And his answer is no. Those who advance quickly spare themselves many trials. Nevertheless, since the progress is almost infinite, a large number of successive incarnations are always required. So, here's is that what they were saying. It's not the same. So, the number of incarnation that I have to go through to acquire my high degree is not the same as yours. It's not the same as for, anyways, it'll be different, because, as they say, it's according with our evolution, with our trials, with our decisions. And something that is quite sometimes, I think, is quite frightening, is when they say that, nevertheless, since the progress is almost infinite, so almost infinite, so it's impossible to imagine how many lives you need to get to the high level, because it's almost infinite. What is the infinite? Good question. So this is quite something, not cruel, but it's crazy to think about this, that we have almost infinite lives. In the next question, he asked, 170, what does the spirit become after its final incarnation? And the answer is very straight away: a blessed spirit, a pure spirit. Yeah, so here we have a very resume what is about reincarnation. Why we come through, we have to go through the reincarnation. What is the purpose of the incarnation? How it's gonna end? Basically, is this question that they give to us in this part. And if you think about a resume, we can say that reincarnation is for our evolution, to grow, and is a blessing that God gave to us to evolve. And this is a, I compare, since I particular myself, I compare reincarnation with kind of a degree in school. You have the first year, the second year, the third year, and if you're not good, you can repeat that year. So if I'm not good in some, I'm not student of mathematics this year, I repeat because of mathematics. So I'm not student enough science, I repeat because of the science. And so it's the subject that I that I have to learn. And the next incarnation, I will learn more. And then it's like step by step. And so I compare this more or less as the years at school. Every incarnation, it's 1 year at the school that I have to pass, that I have to, in the end, do like a test and go to the next level. And what is this test that I think that we have to pass? Is to be able to overcome our bad tendencies, to overcome pride, to overcome selfishness, to overcome jealousy, and all these others that make humankind stuck. You know, and when we think that we have so much to learn, we still have so much to learn here. Sorry. We still have so much to learn in this planet to overcome our bad tendencies, you know. I think we have to reincarnate many, many years. And one thing that I was looking another day, and I come across something very interesting, like the most common questions about reincarnation. And this exactly, and this is, yeah, I did a search aleatory. I didn't put like spiritism, nothing, just to see what I find. And I came across basically the same questions that basically the same question that we have on the book, that the spirit will answer to us in different websites and different not just on the spiritism, but different areas, you know. And this is always the same questions. Is why we reincarnate? That they ask, the spirit asks, answer to us why we reincarnate. Yeah, reincarnate because we we need to come to learn, to overcome our bad intentions, to overcome our bad intentions and to keep growing. And why we forget the past? How many times we need to reincarnate? When the soul is not incarnate, where is the soul is? And how many time between one incarnation and another? And I think we did this question on the I think wasn't last week about this. Was that other? Oh, we didn't get there yet. No, I think we didn't arrive there yet. But there is this question is answered by the Spirit's book as well. How many times we need to reincarnate, and we're gonna get this question in the future, because it depends of each person. Is not the same for each spirit. And if the reincarnation is just on Earth, is another question that is very common. And I give you a spoiler, but we're gonna go through this in the future as well, very soon, because we are studying the plurality of the lives of the spirits, and we're gonna see this in the future. Plurality of existence. We're gonna see this part in the future when they talk about incarnation in other words. Is a very common question as well. And I can just give a small spoiler that yes, we incarnate in other places as well, not just in Earth. But on the right time, we're going to talk about that. And when we stop to reincarnate, so we just saw this question, when the spirit is pure enough, when they have passed through all the trials and have purified itself. Yeah, basically, it's a very common question that people who are curious about reincarnation they used to ask, you know. And thanks God, the spirits brought to us this these answers on this chapter. Is a whole chapter of the plurality of the existence about reincarnation and the justice of reincarnation is something that we're going to see probably next week about it. And I don't want to go too much further because next week we're going to talk about that. I want to check because there is another question that we saw last week that I would like to bring up. Oh yeah, and if you have any question, please just write to us. If you want, I'm not here to teach anyone. I'm here just to talk and exchange some ideas. So please, if you have any question, you are very welcome to write, to share your opinion or your thoughts with us, please. Because we are just touch a few parts of the chapter today about reincarnation. And yours. All right. When they say here that on the question 168 about the number of corporal lives be unlimited, it's bringing us some comfortable, to understand that we still have many lives and many knowledge to acquire in this world. Because it's difficult to look for the world right now and don't talk about it, don't think about it because it's so crazy and it's so scary sometimes, Okay. I'm sorry, I have some technical problems here. Just try to adjust. Okay, sorry guys. Just adjust this. But if you could bring something from our past life for this life, to help us to evolve, to help us to progress, what kind of knowledge we could have and we could look at. When there is a question in the spiritual book that they say that if you want to know who you were in the past, look for your tendencies that you have right now. And this is really true. Like sometimes I don't have to do a therapy of regression, past lives, to know who I was or what was my challenge on the last life. If you look for our tendencies now, for our habits, for our tendencies, basically, we're gonna find the answer. For example, a person that is very difficult to forgive, a person who is selfish, and uh, and other things, or someone that have problem to deal with a certain type of person, certain type of behave. This show to us what we have to look at, what we have to work on. You know, when something start to repeat in front of us, to show us what we have to look at. You know, and sorry. For example, do you know that when we try to avoid certain situation in our life, and life keep bringing us that situation, it can be a person that behave in certain way that keep bringing us this type of person, and we still ask why we keep face the same situation over and over in our life. You know, it's exactly because the life wants to show to us, look, you have to work on this problem. We cannot ignore it. You know? And soon we face this, and soon we work on this, better will be not bring this for the next life. You know, we used to say, okay, it's better deal with this person now and solve this problem now, then bring it for the next life. The next life, I don't want to be with you anymore. Next life, I want to be with somebody else, let's say. And this is exactly because this. Why we born, in that family, in that situation, in that country, and in that community, is exactly because we have to deal with that situation. We have to go through that challenge or that trial, you know. And the answers why we are living this situation can be in the past lives as well. But we have to go back on the past life to understand why we are living this situation now. No, we don't need. We have to focus on the moment, on the actual life, in what we are living now. You know, of course, we have to understand that it's for our progress, and I don't want to say that it's our fault, because I think when we use the word that it's because our fault, is too aggressive, it's too heavy. You know, I prefer to think that if I'm living this situation now, if I'm go through the situation now, it's because I need this to improve myself, to grow and to learn, instead of look back on the past life and say, I am pass through this now as a punishment for my past life. Because instead of help, this can be really danger in a way that is not help you to grow, don't help you to evolve. You'll be a lot more like frustrating you instead of help, right? And this reincarnation, they help us to look in for certain situation and try to understand that that situation is happening for a reason. A person is passing through that situation for a reason. And the good thing is, we have to think that after this challenge, after this trial, the person will be much better. You know, it's difficult to look in certain situations and think that this is good for this person because he's make this person improve or grow in this life. In the next life, the next incarnation, this person will be more evolved and don't have to go through this again. It's hard sometimes to see in this way, because we still too attached to this world, to the material things. Because imagine, it's difficult to look, for example, at a kid with a problem, or someone that's born with certain problem, and say, but this is for this person to grow, to evolve. Like, if you say this for the person or for a familiar, you'll be very insensitive, so we don't have to sometimes we have to understand that is for a reason that is happen, is for the evolution, but in the same time we have to exercise our other part of us, that we are passing this as well, because we need, like, if you are in a situation to deal with this situation, let's say a family who has a member that is very needed, they have to care about, we have to help, is a group of people that is learning together. They are passing through that situation together to evolve and to grow. And each of the members of the family has a important character to play, and a lesson to take from the situation. It's like that, a case that I read in a book about a kid who born with a very very, not a disease, but very problem. He was paraplegic. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he couldn't live by himself. He needed the others, the family, to care about all the needs of this person, right? And the spirit was telling that that person was born in that situation to repair something that was from the past, and he needs to go through to purify himself and to get better. And the family has a very important role to play in his life as well. So all that spirit, they were connected. All that group of spirits that was passing that through that challenge, they were somehow connected, and all of them has a very important role to play in that incarnation. So if you would just see from outside, without this perspective of a whole scenario, we will see this as a very, how can I say, unfair. Sometimes we're going to say that the life for that person, or the life for that family, is unfair and not and is not just, and is not that is God has to didn't have mercy from this family, or something like that, right? Because we just see that moment, we just see that picture, of the moment, without the whole context. But if you go and analyze, why is that situation, why did this happen, why God allows this to happen, allows that group of spirits to go through that challenge, then you'll be completely different. You'll be like change completely the whole perspective of view, and this is hard sometimes, especially for us here when we are incarnate. It's hard to look at this picture and say that is okay, and to understand, but from the spiritual point of view, all that situation and that picture is like the perfect scenario for that group of people, for that group of spirits go through, and this is hard to understand. As I say, it's difficult for us, but that's why we have to study and to try to understand why these things happen. And I believe that Spiritism is one of the philosophy that bring light to our life, because make us to understand the mechanism of the life, how it's work, why we are here, why this has happened, and why we we have to go through these trials and this challenge. And sometimes it's difficult. Yes, sometimes it's very difficult to understand all of this, but it's necessary. It's necessary for us to go through this, you know. And I believe that not just Spiritism brings us some light about the evolution here, but we have, of course, we have other philosophies that complete this. But for me, as a Spiritist, I believe that Spiritism is the most well explained, because it's very directed. When Kardec do the question to the spirit, they always give a straight answer about what it is, what it isn't. You know, for example, about the incarnation. And this is really enlightened for here to have this comfortable about life, you know, that the spirits brought to us. And let's see what else, if I can see here. And yes, when the last one that I read here about what we will become, and they say that we will become a blessed and pure spirit. And the blessed and the pure spirits is like, I think, the most clear example that we have about a pure spirit is Jesus. I think is the closest thing that we have, because Jesus is a spirit that already overcome all this challenge, and he passed. We believe that as a spirit, he is in a enlightened, much like we are here, and Jesus was here. He's here. You know, he is already much more evolved than us, because he don't have all the bad tendencies that we have. We don't have the jealousy, the selfishness, the pride, and all these feelings that we still have to work on. And when we think about the high spirits, what we can become, what is our end of, you know, or at least we can imagine far away. I imagine now is Jesus, you know. Not that I say that, okay, we will be like Jesus, like in 100 incarnation. No, but the Spirit said that we will evolve, and we are made to this. We are created to evolve, and I believe that one day you will be evolved enough to at least be more close to Jesus, you know, as a high spirit. For example, as like some Peter knows, forgot his name. Hello, Stevan. How are you? Stevan is just sent a message to us here. He said that he's still on the traffic. He's still driving. Be safe, my friend. Drive safe. The important you get home. And next week, I want you here with us, because today you left me. It's fine. Just joking. So, yeah. So the basic is we have to how can I say, to tease ourselves to continue evolve, you know, because if you just look, okay, to be a high spirit, to be an evolved spirit, I have to. Hello, Linda. How are you? Good to have you here. If you compare, when we compare, for example, as I was saying, us to the high spirit, and you just see the distance that we have to get there, we're gonna get frustrated, because it's, like you say, it's too far. You know, it's very, very, very far from me, and I don't think that I can get there. And it's not good, because this brings us frustration. They have to look and say, one day I will get there, but it's okay. Don't need to be tomorrow. I can go slow. I can go in my time. But look at this and say, one day I want to get there. One day I want to be there, close to him. You know, We have to give us a good incentive to continue, and not frustrations. So we have to say, okay, what can I work in this life to help me to be better on the next life, on the next incarnation? Maybe can I work in my selfishness? Maybe I can be working my pride. Maybe I can be working my benevolence. So like simple things. Let's exercise. Start forgiveness. One of the most important. The day that we can forgive me without think, or without have to overthink when you have to forgive someone, then you'll be one step close to Jesus. We have to start with the small things, because if you start with the big ones, you're gonna fall, right? All right. So guys, I think we are basically reached the end. I don't want to take more time, because I'm alone, and I think I don't have much more to say about it, because I don't want, as I say, to spoil it for next week when Stevan will be here, and then we can discuss better about the next topic, the next question. That will be the justice of reincarnation. It's something that I want to do with him. So, thank you, Linda. Good to know that you are here with me. Don't leave me alone. And if you have any question, or I want to add something, that's the moment. Feel free. Oh, who appear now? Dawn. Thanks, Dawn, that I'm not alone. I miss you. Good that have you guys here with us. Make me company tonight. One day we have to set a question answers that you guys can participate as well. You'll be fun. Okay, so guys. Oh yes, Linda. I always pray for God to help. Life is hard, but it depends. We have to get the good moments, that small moments of happiness to make us to continue. When life hits us hard, we have to always think about, I'm not alone, because God is with me. The good spirits are with me, and they are helping me. And always put yourselves up and say, okay, I'm gonna go through this, and after that I will be a much better person. Because if not, we give up, and we cannot give up of life. Life is a beautiful gift that God gave to us, and we have to use that in a good way, doing the best that we can. Right? Okay, guys. I think we end here, and we can back next week and discuss more about it, this topic. And if you have a question about, if you have some thoughts about during the week, do a scratch and bring to us next week. Write to us and bring your question and your thoughts for us. Okay, that we can discuss together. Remember, this is a exchange talk, like idea, and nobody here to teach nobody. Great. So I will do our final prayer. So let's thanks God for this moment. Thanks the Master Jesus for all the teachings. Thanks the good spirits for all the help and patience with us to bring us enlightenment and peace when we need. That we all can have a good week, blessed and full of love, health, and peace. God be with you. So be it. That's it, my friends. I hope to see you very soon. On Sunday, I think it's Samantha Talk at 11:15. And Tuesday is Stevan and Vanderlei, 7:15. And Thursday is Stevan. And I will try to be here, but I'm not sure because maybe I will be away. But I will be with you in thoughts, if not in presence. Thank you very much. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Stevan. Thank you for everyone, Kardec Region and Spirit Society of Ireland, and our, as always, friend. God bless you. Stay safe.